They'll regret losing you, but only if you stay silent. There's something haunting about silence, not the kind that begs for attention, not the kind that punishes, but the kind that speaks with quiet dignity, the kind that echoes louder than any words ever could. It's in that kind of silence, the kind that follows your absence, not your argument, that people begin to feel what they never valued when you were around. They remember the warmth you brought into cold places, the patience you showed when they were difficult, the grace you extended when they didn't deserve it. And when that presence is gone, not shouted, not explained, but simply withdrawn, regret begins its slow, steady crawl into their conscience. But that only happens if you stay silent. Because nothing haunts a person more than the realization that they lost someone who was real and never said a word about it. Most people respond to rejection, disrespect, or being undervalued by trying to prove their worth. They explain, they plead, they argue, they post cryptic quotes, hoping the person who hurt them will read between the lines. But the truth is, no one sees your value in the noise. They only feel it in the quiet. And the more you try to make them understand what they lost, the less likely they are to see it. Because neediness isn't clarity, it's confusion. It blurs the very value you're trying to show. Emotionally intelligent people, those who've been through the ache of losing and being lost, know this truth well. Closure doesn't come from explanations, it comes from elevation. When someone walks away from you, mistreats you, or takes you for granted, you don't run after them. You don't perform pain. You don't justify your worth. You go silent. Not to be manipulative, but to be sovereign. Because silence is power. It shifts the energy. It removes you from their narrative, from their control, from their drama. And in that space you leave behind, the weight of your absence starts to speak. It fills rooms they didn't know you brightened. It lingers in places they didn't realize you held together. They scroll through old messages, and suddenly, the tone feels warmer than they remembered. They hear a song, and your voice flashes through their memory. They laugh at something, then catch themselves wishing they could share it with you. That's when regret begins. Not when you chase, not when you confront, but when you vanish with grace. Because silence leaves room for realization, and realization only visits when the noise dies down. We often believe we have to explain our exit to be understood. But the truth is, people don't change when you argue louder. They change when they finally hear their own silence echoing in the space where you used to stand. Your peace, your absence, is the mirror. And in that mirror, they begin to see what they really lost. Staying silent doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you've chosen to transmute it. It means you've stopped bleeding for those who never tried to stop the wound. It means you've taken back the energy that used to revolve around their validation and redirected it inward. That's what emotionally resilient people do. They grieve, yes, but they grieve privately, sacredly, silently. Because they understand that the ones who couldn't appreciate your presence will only learn through your absence. And no amount of begging, explaining, or emotional appeals can teach that lesson more clearly than walking away in complete stillness. Think of it like this. You were the lighthouse, the calm in the storm, the one who stayed when things got hard. But eventually, even lighthouses stop shining for ships that never intend to dock. Eventually, even the most loving soul must choose themselves. And when you do, when you stop pouring into hands that only take, something shifts. You begin to rise. Not to prove anything, not to make them jealous, but to return home to yourself. Because your silence is not an absence, it's a return to peace, to power, to presence. And that return is the beginning of their regret. Here's the part no one talks about. The people who hurt you know what they did. They may not admit it, they may even deny it, but deep down they feel the imbalance. They know they lost something rare, but they won't feel it until you stop trying to make them feel it, until you go quiet, until you stop responding to their half-hearted check-ins, until you stop explaining how you were loyal, how you were patient, how you would have never done to them what they did to you. They already know, and when you finally stop speaking, the silence becomes undeniable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." That is the Stoic path. You don't punish with rage. You don't clap back with venom. You don't stoop to their level just to make a point. You elevate, you disappear from their emotional battlefield, and your silence becomes the justice. Not because it hurts them, but because it protects you. There's a unique kind of beauty in walking away and not needing to be understood, in realizing that some people only value things when they're no longer available, and in choosing to stop showing up for people who expect you to always be there, no matter how poorly they treat you. You send a message without saying a single word. You had something good, and you lost it. Not out of cruelty, not as punishment, but as a natural consequence of their choices. That's what silence delivers: consequences, not chaos. It doesn't scream, "Look what you lost." It simply lets them feel it. Day by day, moment by moment, quietly, powerfully, inevitably. So if someone walked away from you, if someone betrayed you, if someone treated you like you were replaceable, don't explain, don't argue, don't prove. Just go silent. Let time and truth speak for you. Let absence do what presence never could. Because at some point, when their world quiets down, when the noise fades, when the replacements disappoint, they'll remember. And in that remembering, they'll regret. But only if you stayed silent.